This is part 8 of the LS V8 jet ski, and this build series is gaining momentum like crazy. I got parts showing up today that are going to improve the performance and the style and fitment of the engine going in the LS V8 jet ski build. This is some good stuff right here. Totally unexpected for me. I did not know these were showing up today. I'm really excited about what's in these. Got a coupler. Oh, who do you think hooked us up with this, huh? You know what? These guys are hooking us up. This is awesome. Wait till you guys see what's in the other box. Oh, look at that. Intake manifold. Super low profile. Dude, Holley hooking us up. So awesome. I'm way too excited about this stuff. Oh my. Low profile valve covers. Oh yes. I'm gonna go ahead and install this stuff onto the engine. Our LS V8 for the jet ski. These parts are going to look awesome on that engine. The motor plates make the engine quite wide, so I'm going to pull them off right now just so I can get around a little bit easier in the garage. If you didn't know, MSD is a part of the Holley family of parts. The MSD Atomic Air Force intake manifold. MSD does make the little MSD ignition boxes for jet skis as well. I see people selling used ones for ridiculous prices, and the funny thing is you can still get those brand new over on the Holley website, those old ignition boxes for the older jet skis. I'm gonna go ahead and get this old intake manifold off of this engine, throw it up on the counter next to this new MSD intake manifold so we can see how big of a difference it is. Let's dress this engine up with these new low profile, nice looking valve covers before we throw that intake manifold over this engine. For valve cover install, it's pretty easy. Just remove the old valve covers. And in my case, I don't have a new set of gaskets, which normally you would want to have, but this is not the final install for me on these valve covers. So I'm just going to use the old gaskets just to keep any dust out of my engine. Just pulling the old seals off, popping them on here, then I can throw these valve covers onto the engine. Put the bolts in. A little bit tricky to line these bolts up, but I'm just making sure to start these bolts by hand because I do not want to like cross thread or strip these bolts. And then I'm just going to zip them down with the gun. Could torque these, but for me at this point, I'm not going to do that because they're just on there to keep the dust out of the engine. This MSD intake manifold is more compact and makes more horsepower than the stock truck unit. If you look at Richard Holdinger's videos, you will see he has this massive intake manifold test for the LS engines. He was running a healthy 6-liter LS engine when he did the intake manifold test, but his truck manifold was able to produce 549 horsepower, 468 torque. He also tested an LS1 manifold, and that would be the car manifold for this engine. That is 535 horsepower in his test. And the MSD was one of the top performing intake manifolds in the test, coming in at 592 horsepower and 502 foot-pounds of torque. Not only is this a compact intake manifold, it's also an excellent power and performance upgrade for this engine. And the engine that I've got here is a 4.8 liter, so I know our gains won't be quite as high as what he was having on that healthy 6.0 liter LS engine he was testing. But we may end up with a more healthy engine before this project is all said and done. We might have an aluminum block, we might have a 6 liter, might have a 6.2, might have a 5.7. So we'll just see what ends up happening with that. I have to say the engine is looking pretty darn good right now with that intake manifold and those valve covers on there. I do need to look at the instructions for installing this intake manifold because this manifold does split into two pieces and it's a little bit more complicated than just a bolt on and go type of design. So I gotta run through the instructions real quick. The box does come with all the hardware and instructions for installing this unit. And gaskets too. One of the things that they got going on with this intake manifold is they have a few different positions for the map sensor. The thing is, you have to drill out the one that you're going to use because they don't want a bunch of extra holes in the intake manifold. This thing splits into two halves, then you drill it, clean it out, and then you can install your map sensor. The reason they have multiple locations is depending on what vehicle you have, your wiring harness is gonna reach to a certain spot. Like here, you know, that's the one in the back, or you got this one up here in the front. I'm gonna hold off from doing a full install video on this MSD atomic intake manifold for now, because I'm not quite ready to put this engine all the way together. The heads aren't even bolted on at this point. So fully installing this intake manifold would just be silly. I'll do a full install video on that when, you know, the time is right, when we come to that, and I'll probably make it in a separate video. So there was a whole bunch of you guys in the comments section who were saying put a car manifold on it. And you guys were absolutely right, but we went ahead and got an aftermarket manifold so we could gain some performance while saving some space. The inches that we are saving here might as well be miles, since I need all the clearance I can possibly get to fit this thing under the seat of the jet ski. So we're saying bye-bye to the truck manifold. I had planned on V8 Jet Ski Part 8 being about the gearbox, but these parts from Holley had showed up, so I had to put this stuff together just to see how it would look. And we are currently working on the gearbox video as we speak. We're not quite done with that gearbox yet, so this works out pretty well for this to actually be Part 8 of the V8 Jet Ski. So I want to weigh the intake manifolds back to back and see which one weighs more. And I just remembered that I threw that other intake manifold into the woods. So I'm gonna have to go grab that thing real quick. Got to take this throttle body off this intake manifold so that it will be a similar comparison to that intake manifold for weight. I've got this handy inline scale that I can use to weigh the intake manifolds. This is the truck manifold that it came with, and it weighs 11 pounds. A little bit heavier on the MSD intake manifold at 15.8 pounds. And a big thanks to Holley for hooking us up with these parts and all the other parts they've helped us out with so far. Oil pan, the computer system, obviously the intake manifold, and the valve covers. Those guys have been great, and they're really helping this build progress more quickly than it would have without their support.
Boys, it's Jacob, and I'm here. And I brought my leather jacket. We're gonna go in the shed to see what he's up to.
Hey there, Jacob. What's up?
Just, you know, hanging out with my leather jacket.
Well, what do you think?
I think that it was good for me to wear the jacket because they've been wanting it.
Oh, it is a classic for the people who've been around for a long time. I'll turn the heaters off so we can chat. So I'm pretty pumped, Jacob, because this particular intake manifold is the one that Holley sent me. Yeah. And, you know, it's MSD, which MSD is a part of Holley. And MSD also has the little igniter boxes for, you know, like old jet skis and super jets.
Yeah.
And they sell those brand new on the Holley website. If you guys want those things, Don't buy a stupid used one. Just buy a new one. It might even cost less brand new than used.
Yeah, exactly. MSD. I think of MSD as like distributor caps and
I think like the ignition boxes for cars.
Oh yeah. Just yeah.
But anyways, this manifold, I went on to Richard Hollinger's channel and watched his like LS intake manifold shootout thing.
Yeah.
And this manifold is right up near the top.
Well, doggone. That's cool. So this
for
is
like
the one.
For like peak numbers, this one is in like, I think maybe second place.
Well, hey, there you guys go. We know about Richard Hollinger. We talk to him on a regular basis.
He's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He lives like just next door.
He hangs out. We hang out. He's like, we're like this. So I gotta say, this sure looks a lot like plastic for something that's metal. Is this metal?
It is not metal.
Oh, it's plastic.
I kind of read through the thing, and I don't know if it's like marketing spiel, but it said like fiberglass reinforced plastic.
Okay. This is what that means. All this stuff is like a liquid, and you know they dump like metal shavings or fiberglass crap into it and stir it all around, and then they put it in the injection mold. And like when you get stuff that you think, man, this is plastic or metal, I can't tell. It kind of seems like both. That's probably what this is.
I ended up weighing this against the truck manifold.
Yeah.
And this was slightly heavier, so maybe there is some metal in it. I have no idea. But yeah, you're right. It kind of, you're like, is it metal or is it plastic?
Let's see. It weighs like nothing.
Oh, he's gonna guess what
this one weighs like nothing. Okay, let me ask you this. How much heavier is 2 ants than an ant? Well, let's see. An ant weighs nothing, so 2 ants also weighs nothing. The intake weighs nothing.
Well, anyways, this one ended up being about 5 pounds heavier than the other one.
Yeah.
So 5 pounds is not a lot.
No. It's a lot. I mean, when you're talking about a ski, 5 pounds, you might sink this thing.
Well, 5 pounds is a lot for like a super lightweight ski, like an X2 or a stand-up ski or something. But when you have like a behemoth that we're dealing with, 5 pounds, I'll just lose 5 pounds off of myself, and then that'll compensate for that.
Even in small skis, I think the whole weight thing is more in people's heads anyway, and in your back when you have to carry, like, lift up the ski.
These new valve covers look a lot more nice than the old
They do. They look like it's on a hot rod.
Yeah, they have kind of a classic look, which, that's cool. Like, I don't mind either way.
This is a classic American muscle car engine. So you have any idea how it actually, like, kind of fits in there, or?
Well, dang, I didn't even think about that. Maybe we should mock it up while you're here.
You have to hit a like right now on this here video, and if you do that, we will mock this engine up in the ski so you can look at it, okay?
So let me hop in here and let me say the thing that we've always been saying about the V8 jet ski is make sure to watch this whole video and check out the rest of the videos in the V8 jet ski playlist. And if you've already seen those, maybe check out one of our other playlists. We got some other cool builds you might want to see as well.
That kind of reminds me of the stuff we used to say in the videos, like, all right, guys, now go back and watch all of our videos because they're all great. And you're going to want to check them out because it's very interesting.
I wouldn't say that they're all great. That's just...
Well, there's a lot of greatness. I mean, heck, every TV show's got its winners and losers for episodes. So, yeah, we got a lot of gold in our reservoir. Boys, we're rigging up this here engine, and I just, was doing nothing, la, while Josh is working. And I was saying, yeah, gosh, I'm looking at this like 15F supercharged engine for the Ultra 260, and I'm thinking, gosh, that'll be cool. Yeah, Josh, we'll have to try that versus the other ski. And he's like, oh, this V8 thing? And I'm like, no, your other fast ski. And it's like, man, that's just like everybody. You guys probably don't even remember what our other fast skis are. So, trivia questions. What are our other fast skis? And thanks for participating. And those that participate get an award. I'm gonna tell you the award at the end. Maybe you're gonna break the little tabs off with the lifting strap. Why don't you take the intake manifold off and then put it on there after you put it in the ski? And who cares? These people don't have to see it being lifted up with the thing.
It just won't look as cool getting lifted up without the intake manifold on there.
You know what? Oh crap, I filmed that.
A lot of people think that you or me or we do drugs.
I know. They think that we're like potheads or something. want it monster truck style.
So we've got the engine about where it's gonna sit when it's all said and done. This is right about where it's gonna sit tallness wise because of the gearbox. The intake pokes up into the seat area, but the seat does have a bit of a concave right here in it. So we're gonna use that to our advantage, so the seat should actually fit on there okay. And if it doesn't, we can make a little bit more of a concave to fit the seat. Right now, the hole is not set quite all the way down on there, but it's really close. We're just hung up a little bit on the front of the valve covers, and the farther the engine slides towards the back, the more space it has for the valve covers to clear. So we don't have it bolted all in yet, but hopefully the gearbox will be slim enough so that the engine can come back a little bit more. And if it gets into final fitment and we need to trim a little bit off of, it would be in this section right here on the hull. So just this corner that kind of juts out. We could go ahead and trim that off and the seat would cover it so you'd never even know.
Yeah, buddy.
So I was filming a different video at the point where these parts showed up, and this video was supposed to be the one about the gearbox and the gears. We are still working on the gearbox, so I wasn't quite ready to do a video on it anyway, so fortunately these parts showed up. The video I was filming when the stuff showed up was doing the rest of the fiberglass on the ski, and I'm definitely going to release that video about the fiberglass at a different time. I want to get all the fiberglass done in one video. Since the fiberglass is going to be done in multiple stages throughout the course of this build, I didn't want to just release a video of half of the fiberglass now, half of it later. So I'm just saving up with the footage on that so I can do a full video on the fiberglass work when that's all completed, done, and ready to go. I'm thinking that we're going to have you guys win some used jet ski gas. All you gotta do is go outside, scoop it out of the air. We already made it last summer for you guys.
Use jet ski gas? No. We already did that. That's old school. This time, what you're winning is the satisfaction of knowing that you participated in a little Jetskibrothers game. So, give yourself a pat on the back and act like it was from one of us, unless you hate us or whatever. Do whatever you want. But yeah, congratulations, guys.